Hello, I'm Dr. Rob Yeung. I'm a performance psychologist and a coach at a consultancy called Analyse, and I'd like to talk to you about using your network to further your career. Now, it really is undoubtedly the case that networking can benefit careers. I'm sure you can think of people around you who may be only moderately good or even mediocre at their jobs, but because they've got the right connections, they've been promoted and promoted. So just think how far you could progress if you're good and knowledgeable in your job and you have the right relationships as well. Now, networking typically is lumped into one category, but I'd like to think about internal networking versus external networking separately. So internal networking is a process of building relationships with decision makers who can help you to deliver business projects within your organization. And it's by delivering business results that you can advance in your career. So think about who the main decision makers are that you need to interface with and how well they know and like you. For example, think about your line manager. Your line manager also has a line manager. So this higher level line manager, what kind of relationship do you have with him or her? Does that person know and respect your credibility? Because if not, then you may need to put together a plan just to spend just a little bit more time with that person building your profile. Then think also about other decision makers within your organization. Those could be within your department or perhaps in other departments. And again, analyze your relationship with them and think about how you might spend just a little bit more time with them in order to build the credibility you have with them. So let's think now about external networking, which is about building relationships with people outside of your organization. So those could be clients, those could be people in regulatory bodies, competitors or suppliers. And one thing that people really don't like doing in general is going to events and just striking up conversations with complete strangers at conferences or seminars. So one perhaps counterintuitive tip that you could try is actually to volunteer to give a talk. Now, as I said, that may sound counterintuitive, but many people who are perhaps quieter or more introverted, even though they don't like meeting strangers, they're very good at writing content. They're very diligent at rehearsing material in order to prepare for a presentation. And even if you should be a little bit nervous in delivering a presentation, most audiences tend to be quite forgiving so long as your content is good. And so once you've put together a presentation and delivered it, then during the breaks and lunch time after the presentation, people will come up to you and talk to you. Or even if you simply roam around a room and make eye contact with people, then people will be much more amenable to having a conversation with you. Another tip for going to a networking event is to choose a networking buddy. So the idea is that you work out beforehand what you each would like the other person to say about you. So I would tell this other person how I would like to be introduced, and he or she would give me some pointers as to what I should say about them. Now this works for a number of reasons. So firstly, if I were to introduce myself to you, and I were to claim that I'm one of the top psychologists working in leadership and teamwork, then that sounds quite arrogant. However, if someone else genuinely believes that and is willing to say it, then it can come across as positive and complimentary instead of big-headed. So before going to an event, work out with your networking buddy what you would each like to say about each other, and that way it will be much easier for you to introduce yourselves to new people.